Well, Nate, you've been around this game for a long time, but is this a special fight even for you? This atmosphere, this opportunity?
It's another big fight, another big day. It's what I've been doing. So.
Nate, last week Conor called you a cholo gangster from the hood. He called you a fajita, kind of racially charged. How did you feel about that?
It's whatever, man. He's saying what he's got to say. So.
Is that just for the fight, just promoting the fight, you think?
Whatever he wants it to be. Coming to fight, and it is what it is.
What do you make about him wanting the fight at 170? Do you think that favors either one of you guys?
He didn't want the fight at 170. It just ended up at 170. You know, the fight was played around with, and for months. They offered me left and right this fight, and I did several 3-day training camps for this short notice shit, and I said, all right, no more playing. If we're gonna fight, short notice, no camp, then why weight cut? You know, it's all good. I'm still a lightweight. I'm a lightweight fighter, and martial artist. No weight classes necessary.
I think a lot of people are worried about, with it not being 155, that you might not be in shape. The fact that you can't get to 155, that you might not be in shape, you might be a little bit different fighter. Are you saying that that's not the case, that it's just the same?
Or I might be in better shape.
Nate, there's been a lot of talk about the moment of a McGregor fight. The McGregor fights are bigger than other fights. You've been in a lot of fights. Does this feel different to you, this moment?
It just feels a little different because it's a short notice and a lot of shit crammed into one little week. But it's pretty much it's a big show. I've been on a lot of big shows, and it's a big deal now. There's a lot of people here, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did your emotions change any little bit after that crazy press conference last week? Did you find yourself thinking differently about McGregor before, as you do now?
No, it's just I seen him do his thing, and I pictured and visualized it pretty much how I was gonna go. So.
Nate, people say stuff in the build-up to fights, but sometimes people overstep the mark. When he's called you a cholo gangster, was that overstepping the mark in your mind?
No, that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. Got my opinions too. That's a cool tattoo.
Nate, now that you've gone through the press conference with Conor, do you have any different feelings about the guy or the way you look at the guy? What do you think of him for the sport?
Big. A lot of talk, a lot of exposure, a lot of cameras. So it's good. Obviously, it's good for the sport, good for everybody's pocket. He says a lot of stuff that I felt the same way about. So at least to listen to somebody, you know. So.
What about him as a fighter, though, as a martial artist? Do you have respect for him, or do you think it's overblown?
I like his fight style a lot better than a lot of people's fight style. The fight games got really weak in the last long time, so I guess I could say that I appreciate somebody who will come and fight.
Nate, you're talking about fighting styles. A lot of people, your reach, your kind of length versus his lateral movement and his speed. How do you plan on kind of counteracting that and getting ahead of that?
We'll see what happens. I got moves too.
There was talk about steroids at the press conference back in LA. Why do you believe that about McGregor?
Not just McGregor. I believe that about everybody. It's gonna be harder to prove to me that people are not on steroid before it's easier to believe that people are on steroid. You know, I believe everybody's on steroids until everybody in this game has been, you know, and is, and I don't think that. Over the years and the people I talk to and the way shit goes, I'm like, the whole roster is on steroids. On every organization, in every sport. You got a six-pack, probably on steroids.
Nate, do you think this guy respects you as a fighter?
That was not, that's not nice to say. Typical got six-packs, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of these people in here are on steroids, so that's my opinion on that.
Nate, do you think this guy respects you? And if so, why? Or if not, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he recognizes, you know, the real fighters and who fights for real, and a real fight when he sees one. So I'm pretty sure he recognizes.
You said last week that he's beaten a lot of midgets and smaller guys. Are you unimpressed with what he's accomplished so far in MMA?
Well, I mean, he's just real pumped up on and confident in his predictions and all this stuff. But you know, it's like, look at your lineup. Look at my lineup. I got a lineup. You know what I'm saying? I've been fighting top 5 guys, top 8 guys in lightweight and welterweight since the last 9 years. So you've been fighting little guys. So see what happens. It's another, you know, different type of person you're dealing with now.
Hey, if styles make fights, what kind of fight will this be, Nate?
It's gonna be a fight.
He said he's going to finish you in the first round. How do you feel about that, team?
And then if he don't, then what? You know.
Gang, let's make a switch here. Those in the back can come in for a few minutes with Nate, and we'll get him going. Riders stand in the back. They want to slide in here for a few minutes. Make some room, please, guys. Apologies.
Nate, you've said several times that you feel like he says and does a lot of the same things you've been saying for years. What were some of the things that you saw that made you believe that?
Daniel, come on in.
Just the way he's saying he's the money fight. I've been saying that forever too, but they got wind of that and they tried to shut me up. They tried to quiet me down. You know, they kind of put me in the shadows, like, yo, hey, keep that big money fight shit on the low because that's getting bigger as we speak. So they kind of try to keep me on the low, and then when he says it, it's this new thing, you know. And as far as preaching martial arts and who's the real fighters and just the big fights, I've been already talking that before he was even in the UFC. And now he's just like this new guy with all this new stuff coming up. Coming out and everybody's pushing it like, yeah, and it's on every article, every headline because he's from Ireland, you know? It's like,
but Nate, he said all along that he's big fans of you two as brothers, that he likes your rawness and your honesty. McGregor says he's a big fan of you both.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of what he does too. He puts it out there. He says the real shit, just like I said. And I'm more I got more criticism towards the push that he's getting.
Do you think the media give him too easy a ride?
Yeah, well, he's yet? they're like kicking him on, like, go ahead, yeah, keep talking. And with me, they're like, hey, someone put him in the back, you know, keep him on the down low. So I like it. That's what I mean by I've been saying the same type of things, and he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job at what he's doing.
Do you think he's early in his UFC career still? He's only had 7 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, he's only got 7 fights, so I was on the road too. I ran 3 fights on the Ultimate Fighter and then like 5 fights in the UFC, so that's a 7 fight winning streak, and I was unstoppable too.
I'm not sure what you meant when you said the media was trying to keep you on the down low. What do you mean by that, Nate?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the media or the UFC, but they were like, they feel like they didn't want my stock getting any higher, but it had no, they couldn't stop it, you know, look where I'm at right now.
Was that recently or, you know,
all along, especially when I started preaching about, yeah, hold up, I need a bigger payday, I need better result for what's going on here because I've been putting in a lot of time, a lot of work. You know, I've been in this career now for a good little minute. You know, I have like 2 careers long in the NFL or baseball or something. So I'm like, hold on, I'm putting in a lot. I'm just wondering like when it's all gonna pay back. And like, you know, unfortunately it has to be on a week notice. But now finally something's coming back to what I've been putting in.
Did you feel you got the advantage because you got 2 extra fights put on your contract? Were you in a situation where, you know, you maybe got an edge on management where they sometimes, you said in the past, had taken advantage of you by getting those extra fights?
What do you mean?
Well, Dana said he gave you extra fights by agreeing to this. He said he gave you 2 extra fights for taking this fight. So do you feel like that gives you an advantage over them that they wouldn't have done it otherwise?
Yeah, there was all kinds of weird stuff going on as far as.
He got under your skin in the press conference.
Yeah, I think, you know, there was all kind of controversy back and forth with the fights. So.
Nate, what comes next if you win?
No comment.
What's up? What comes next if you win?
If I win, then
where does this put you?
Well, shit, I'm at the top right now, I guess. You know, look at this show. Look at what's going on. So.
Nate, you've been outspoken throughout your career over different things, and you've been a lightning rod of controversy at different times. Dana once said you didn't move the needle, and all those quotes that have made the rounds. Does this feel like validation to you, sitting here, facing McGregor in a few days in one of the biggest pay-per-view cards of the year?
Yeah, no. See, I knew this already, though. I knew how the needle moving thing. I knew who moved the needle. You know, I said people seem ridiculous or something, but now look at I knew this was gonna happen sooner or later. So.
Nate, when you've been sitting around with Nick in the last few weeks, has he been saying to you he wish it was him getting in there to beat up McGregor?
I haven't really talked to Nick about that. Nick always wants the biggest fights because he's the biggest draw too, you know. So.
Do you think he would want to fight McGregor?
With McGregor?
Yeah.
Why not? It's the biggest fight, you know.
Thanks, gang. Appreciate it.